mutual legal assistance, and sharing of best practices among national anti-corruption agencies, audit agencies, and investigative bodies. Excellencies, as we continue to commemorate the African Anti-Corruption Year, the scourge of illicit financial flows continues to bite, eating back the gains and militating against the attainment of our aspirations under Agenda 2063 and the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations 2030 Agenda.
Other heads of state and government representatives took turns in addressing the summit and their efforts in combating corruption in their jurisdictions. They all commended the efforts of President Buhari in championing the fight against corruption. On his part, the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, commended President Buhari's political will, which he said encourages anti-graft agencies to fight the menace without fear or favor. He therefore called on all African countries to fight corruption with a common voice for effectiveness.
Well, at least you have seen that even in the opening session, there were several references to Mr. President's role in the fight against corruption in Africa, the effort made to defeat corruption, Africans' effort to defeat corruption. So it's very encouraging. At least people have realized that we are really working very hard. And we need to partner with all the countries in Africa in the fight against corruption.
Magu also called for the repatriation of stolen assets back to their owners, as this, he said, will aid development in the African continent.
And also to have a common voice in the issue of repatriation of the looted fund in the developed countries. So it's very good. We are partnering together, we are coming together, and I always said all the countries must take ownership. It should not be left to Nigeria alone.
He stressed the need for all Nigerians to own the anti-corruption fight, as the battle should not be left to the anti-graft agencies alone. Ronlake Odofinjolaimi, reporting for The Eagle.
Corruption is a cankerworm, na cankerworm. I say na cankerworm, na cankerworm. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together. Oh yeah.
Every woman come out, but we fight corruption together. Oh, every woman fall out, but we kill corruption together. Oh,
them they thief our money. Send them obodo yibo. Children they suffer every day. Better school in no day. Nigeria women come, oh, women from every sector. Make we fight corruption. We won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light, chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health and call. We no see. I said na cankerworm, oh, na cankerworm, oh.
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Naija, now we all know.
The African Union Executive Council has declared 11th July of every year as the African Anti-Corruption Day to commemorate the adoption of the African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption. It remains an important step towards making Africa less tolerant to corruption. In commemorating the day, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) held an awareness walk in the Federal Capital and all its offices across the country. Here are the details. As part of activities to mark the 2018 African Anti-Corruption Day, Nigeria's foremost anti-corruption agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, staged an anti-corruption walk across the country with call on the people to take ownership of the fight against corruption for a better society. This year's event has unique resonance coming against the backdrop of the AU Declaration of 2018 as the African Year of Combating Corruption, with the theme, Winning the Fight Against Corruption, a Sustainable Path to Africa's Transformation. The designation of President Muhammadu Buhari as Africa's anti-corruption champion also adds a distinct Nigerian flavor to this year's event, with EFCC driving the process. The walk, which took off from the EFCC's old head office, Wuse to Abuja,
En route Unity Fountain and terminated at Eagle Square, Abuja, was led by Acting Chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu. Participants who moved amidst singing and dancing defied the scorching sun, carrying banners and placards bearing inscriptions such as Africa United Against Corruption, Kill Corruption Before Corruption Kills Nigeria, Nigerian Youths Say No to Corruption, Nigerian Women Say No to Corruption, Let's Support the Fight Against Corruption, and Let's Make Nigeria Great Again. In his keynote address, the EFCC acting chairman, Ibrahim Magu, stressed the need to unite to eliminate corruption so as not to jeopardize economic growth and prosperity. Magu said the cause and effects of corruption are very clear to everyone and has been identified as one of the major factors responsible for the current state of the economy. The EFCC boss urged Nigerians, and indeed youths, to see corruption fight as a priority, which everyone must be involved in.
Say no to corruption.
No to corruption.
No to corruption.
No to corruption.
I insist, say no to corruption.
No to corruption.
Do it right.
Do it right.
That we should do all our things right. Simple. That's the message. We should expose them. You don't have to join in the fight. You don't have to fight the way I'm fighting. But I'm telling you, everybody has a role to play. Even if you happen to educate the child at home that corruption is wrong, and citing the cases of corruption in hospitals, in the market, and the evils it has caused this country. Somebody has mentioned that corruption has underdeveloped Nigeria. It has underdeveloped Africa. That is what we have been suffering from the beginning. The theme of today is Africa Unite to defeat corruption. But I want to call on all Nigerians to unite to kill corruption. Because we in Nigeria in particular, if we can kill corruption, we set the pace for other African countries to follow.
Magu added that corruption is the reason the country has been unable to transform its rich natural and human resource endowment into prosperity, and called for the collaboration of all stakeholders in taming the Malay. Speaking at the event, Anthony Ojukwu, Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, said Nigeria is taking the lead in the fight against corruption in Africa because of the tremendous work EFCC is doing. He commended the EFCC for the good work and called on the anti-graft agency not to relent in its efforts to rid Nigeria of corruption. While calling on all to join the anti-corruption crusade, the NHRC boss noted that human rights is the greatest casualty of corruption.
The fight against corruption is for all Nigerians. The fight against corruption is not only for the president and for EFCC, it is for all of us. We are here today because human rights is the greatest casualty of corruption.
In his remark, President, Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Comrade Ayuba Waba, lauded the Commission's achievements so far and pledged support of Nigerian workers to efforts geared towards wiping out corruption in Nigeria. Waba said that Nigerians have suffered in the hands of looters, and it has become imperative for everyone to join in the fight, as that is the only way the war can be won. He wondered how a few individuals can borrow 5.4 trillion naira and refuse to pay back, stressing that it is high time Nigerians started to form alliance against the corrupt elements looting our common patrimony. Waba said Nigerians cannot continue to watch our country drift into intolerable poverty. It is time to act because corruption is a threat to our survival as a nation.
The truth is that if we don't kill corruption, there is no way Nigeria can develop. Nigeria has enormous potential. Nigeria has enormous resources. But few people have been helping themselves. And all of us, more than 90% are responsible. How can it happen in Nigeria? We have only 360 individuals has to now borrow 5.4 trillion from our commonwealth, from our bank, and refuse to pay. 5.4 trillion can substantially hold our budget for this year. This is the reality. This is what is happening.
The Lagos State Office of the EFCC also held a walk to mark the AU Anti-Corruption Day. In attendance were staff of the EFCC, members of the civil society, National Youth Service Corps, and partners in the fight against corruption. The acting EFCC chairman, Ibrahim Magu, who spoke through the zonal head Lagos Zonal Office of the Commission, Akanien Ezima, sought the support and cooperation of all Nigerians in order to make a meaningful progress in restoring transparency, accountability, and due process in public governance. He said that one of the pivotal elements of fighting corruption in Nigeria is the effectiveness of the judiciary, stressing that judges, senior lawyers, and other judicial officers must professionally support the ongoing war against corruption in Nigeria. Also speaking, the president of Women Arise for Change Initiative and Campaign for Democracy, Joe Okeyi-Udumaki, urged Nigerians to join hands with the EFCC to break the corruption chain. Okeyi-Udumaki, who described corruption as the bane of Nigeria's growth, said, and I quote, "Education is being destroyed today, roads are being destroyed, and the country is being bled dry. The institutions are being equally destroyed. Terrorism is on the rise. Hooliganism is also on the rise as a result of the fact that we have given room for corruption." End of quote. She said, in unison, Africa is standing solidly, and Nigeria, that is always at the forefront of the war against corruption, is also urging everybody not to be discouraged. Okeyi-Udumaki, who is also the convener of Movement Against Corruption, MAC, further charged the youth to change their mindsets and take ownership of the fight against corruption. In his address, Timothy Melaye, Information Manager, Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, Kiaba, Lagos, described corruption as the most prevalent crime bedeviling the West African countries. He said his organization has been working with the EFCC and thus came to show solidarity as a body working within the region to fight money laundering and terrorist financing. He said the Commonwealth heads of anti-corruption agencies appointed the acting EFCC chairman, Ibrahim Magu, as its vice chair, demonstrating how committed the fight against corruption has been in Nigeria. Participants numbering over 300 partook in the walk, which kicked off from the EFCC Lagos office on Awolowo Way through Kefi Street, Obalende, Igboshiri, Tafawa Balewa Square, and back to the EFCC office. In Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, a mammoth crowd comprising of youth corps members, members of civil society organizations, professional and trade union groups, marched along the roads singing, drumming, and waving banners and placards that carried different messages like "Youths say no to corruption," "We demand a culture of integrity and accountability," "African women say no to corruption," "We shall win the fight against corruption," amongst others. The EFCC Zonal Director, Port Harcourt's office, Nagi Obono Itam, who represented the EFCC's acting executive chairman, Ibrahim Magu, charged Nigerians to be more involved in the anti-graft war, stressing that public ownership of the war was the only means of moving the nation forward. Itam decried the scourge of corruption in Africa, stressing that the continent loses about $50 billion annually to illicit financial flows. In Port Harcourt, the African Anti-Corruption Day was marked by a roadwalk that started from the EFCC zonal office at Old Government Reservation Area GRA, through the busy Nnamdi Azikiwe Road, through Lagos Bus Stop, Ajib Road, Moscow Road, and through Forces Avenue, and ended at the Police Officers' Wives Association POA's ground in the old GRA. Also in Kano, northwest Nigeria, the Kano Operational Zone of the EFCC held a mass walk against corruption to mark the African Anti-Corruption Day. The walk featured participants from all the law enforcement agencies in Kano, and civil society organizations also joined the crowd. The head of the EFCC Kano Zone, Garba Dugum, address urged the participants to support the fight against corruption. According to him, the EFCC cannot win the fight against corruption alone. The EFCC needs the support and cooperation of all Nigerians in order to make meaningful progress in restoring transparency, accountability, and due process in public governance. The zonal head also called for the support of the judiciary in order to win the fight against corruption, as their entity plays a pivotal role if the fight against corruption is to be won. He said, and I quote, "One of the pivotal elements of fighting corruption in Nigeria is the efficacy of our judiciary. As such, I am calling on our learned justices and the entire bench in the Temple of Justice to professionally support the war against corruption in Nigeria, for this is the key to success in the ongoing fight against corruption in the country." End of quote. One of the country's oldest anti-corruption crusaders, Malam Abdul Qadir Dayabu, also urged the younger generation to be courageous in exposing corruption and its vices wherever they see it being perpetrated. He also called for the incarceration of all the looters who stole the economy of our nation for too long. According to him, everything one can think of is possible if one is determined and courageous, including the execution of all looters by any means, be it termination of life or life imprisonment. From the Benin office of the EFCC, the same walk was held with various stakeholders joining the commission to mark the AU Anti-Corruption Day. Head Benin office May Lafia Yakubu lent his voice in calling on Nigerians to own the fight against corruption and not limit it alone to the EFCC. Similarly, the same walk was held in the Ibadan, Kaduna, Uyo, Enugu, Gombe, and Maiduguri zonal offices of the EFCC, all in the effort to sensitize and encourage Nigerians to buy in the anti-corruption fight. It will be recalled that heads of state and governments of the African Union AU in 2011 declared July 11th every year as the African Anti-Corruption Day, following the adoption of the African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption on 11th of July 2003 in Maputo, Mozambique. Rola Keldo Fincholaimi, reporting for the Eagle.
Corruption is dishonesty and illegal behavior by people in positions of trust. A public office is a public trust. Do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Stay away from corruption. Nigeria is a great nation, and it is our responsibility to make the country greater. If you notice any act of corruption, please report to the EFCC via info@efccnigeria.org or call 09 904 4751 or 09 904 4752. You can also call 09 904 4753. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
And that's all we have for you on today's episode of The Eagle. You too can be part of this program by sending your inquiries and suggestions to The Eagle at efccnigeria.org or search for us on Google Plus at Official EFCC or Official EFCCNG@gmail.com. You can like our page on facebook.com/Official EFCC or follow us on Twitter at Official EFCC. And of course, we are on Instagram, so you can pay a visit. To watch our programs and other activities, please log on to youtube.com/Official EFCC. My name is Aisha Mohammed, hoping to see you next week, God willing. Always remember that a public office is a public trust, and do not abuse positions of trust for private gain. Goodbye, and God bless Nigeria.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
This is a road. Our road. road used to be good. Now, the road is not so good.
Come on for road now. Wait.
We tried to manage the road like that.
In the next 5 minutes, I will be there.
Some of us didn't even care. But there are other options.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
This is a road. Our road. The road used to be good. Now, the road is not so good.
Come on for road now. Wait.
We tried to manage the road like that.
In the next 5 minutes, I will be there.
Get involved.
To, da kai da ke da ita da shi da kowa nake so na yi magana da. Me ke faruwa? Kana son karuwa ga ka zaune bakin rijiya amma kana jin ishin ruwa? Gangan jikin siyasa. In ta dangwala ka dangwala na dangwala. Ina amfanin ana yi ba da kai ba? A turancin Najeriya to an gaya maka. No sit down look. Kana sit down kana looking komai na ƙara lalacewa? Ina ka ga daman ƙorafi? Da masu jini a jika ake yi. Watan matasa. Kwankwasa a buɗa ki shige. Dago ka shaki iska ko ka lime. Da ƙyar ka sha yafi da ƙyar aka kama ka. No sit down look. Matasa ke siyasa. Yi rajista, karɓi katin zaɓe. Yana da amfani ƙwarai kwa.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
Make una no sit down look o.
Hello my Ovation TV lovers, welcome to a brand new week and a brand new edition of the show. My name is Dala Oruwari and we have such an amazing lineup for you today that I cannot wait to get into today's event. We kick off the show today with our Ovation Platinum Wedding, and this is a traditional engagement ceremony between Folashade Suleiman and Bolaho Omodara, and this took place in Lagos, Nigeria.
angel in the morning, shooting star across the night.
It was indeed the day the Lord had made, as friends, family, as well as well-wishers of the Suleiman family from the Ojora royal family of Lagos and Omodara family from Akure South, Ondo State, gathered at the Civic Center, Victoria Island, Lagos, for the traditional wedding of their children, Folashade Suleiman and Bolao Modara. The groom, Bolao, who works as a supervisor at Amazon, United Kingdom, is a 2010 mechanical engineering graduate of the University of Ado-Ekiti, while the bride, Folashade, a finance expert who met Bolao through a friend in London in 2012, is the daughter of London-based socialite and property merchant Wasiu Durojaye Suleiman. She is also a niece to Lagos socialite Joke Shogunro. The traditional wedding, which was colorful and culture, had in attendance notable guests including the daughter of late Afrobeat king Yeni Kuti and Nollywood actress Bisi Ibidapo Obe, amongst others.
lọ́jọ́ òní ni gbogbo àwọn táwa lórí àga yìí bàtà lọ́ máa dìde àwọn máa wá fọwọ́ kan lẹ́tà yìí pé kì í ṣe ọmọ tèmi náà jẹ́ òṣìṣojú ẹ̀mí mi. ẹ máa ní ọlọ́run mi ò bàbá ò ṣe é.
the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, launched the first of its kind literature book which details the life of the historic Yoruba legend Queen Moremi Ajasoro in Ile-Ife.
What we are doing today is remarkable. We are marking history. We are preserving our culture and tradition. I want everybody to see this as a call to serve. We of us, I think being an Oba is a calling. The way pastor has calling, the way imam has calling, we also have calling. And our calling is to serve our people. Moremi has set the example. I pray each and every one of us that Almighty God will endow us with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that we can coexist peacefully to development of our domain of Nigeria, of Yoruba land. God bless us, our nation. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Ó ní àwọn gbogbo táwa ti sọnù, àwọn ọmọ wà táwa ọ̀bá, àwọn ọmọ táàbá náà ni pé a fẹ́ mọ bí ọ̀rọ̀ Moremi ti jẹ́. Tó bá gbọ́ ìbò lábàá máa sọ, kò lè yé wa.
Táàbá ń ṣerú àwọn ọmọ báyìí, gbogbo ìtàn wa, gbogbo àṣà wa, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa lọ. Òyìnbó gbọ́dọ̀ wá gbé àṣà wa lọ. Nígbà táwa náà wà máa ń dọ́kítà jẹ́ ọmọ tó ń dàgbà bọ̀. Àpọ̀ máa ń gbórí ní kó tó di bá ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kàgbé kí wọ́n máa ń kọ́ tán máa ń kọrin fún wa. Orin yẹn dẹ̀ dùn tá a máa ń kọ́ wọ́n ti kọ́ fún wa bí Moremi Ajasoro. Moremi Ajasoro èwo lè lẹ́ mi máma tó. So when we hear such song, we are happy. The lyrics of everything is beautiful, very sonorous. That is, let me assure you that we will continue to support anything that will continue to promote our culture, that will continue to promote who we are as a Yoruba race. So thank you. We will support this.
In the history of the Yorubas, the power and strength of a woman is actually demonstrated and captured by our heroine queen, Moremi Ajasoro, who will never be forgotten. She rose against all odds to save her people from harassment and invasions. It took her intuitive intervention and strong will to restore peace in Ile-Ife and save the entire Yoruba race from further intimidation and destruction.
Ìtàn ìlọ́lẹ̀ ní ṣe máa rántí pẹ̀lú ìwé tí a kọ yìí, ojúlówó ìwé tí a kọ yìí, kí wọ́n bá lè máa kà á láti lè máa rántí ní tí ó ṣokùnfà gbogbo wa. As a lover of our history, I still wonder till date how Moremi managed to achieve all this. Say no to Moremi victory. Say no to Yoruba land. Behold, I met a perfect match of our characteristics. Her Excellency, Mrs. Olufunso Amuso. She completely takes after Queen Moremi positively in all ramifications. Very beautiful, so amiable, intelligent, super humble, ever listening, just like Moremi Ajasoro herself. A round of applause for her. She is a perfect reference for the common saying behind a successful man, there is a woman. She has remained a strong pillar in the success of her husband as Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibekule Arusu. With inherent attributes of empathy, selflessness, humility, commitment to the courage of Moremi's legacy for the betterment of the entire black race. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to all rise and let us keep clapping for this great idol in a woman. Keep clapping for her, please.
The high point of the
Of course, you know that the way they say it, they will say no women, no nation. But talking seriously, we've seen them that indeed there is no place where you will get to and you will not see the impactful attributes of our women. Even in Nigeria here, even in Ogun State, even wherever that we find ourselves, you will see our women contributing positively to the development of maybe our state, our nation.
I would like women to know that the power and strength of a woman dates back to centuries ago. Our young women should be bold. They should know that they can achieve whatever they want to achieve. They shouldn't think about not being able to do anything. Moremi Ajasoro was an example that a woman can do anything that a woman wants to achieve in life.
Next, join us as the founder, Love of Christ Generation Church, Reverend Mother Esther Abimbola Ajayi, hosted some youths in Lagos to a press conference that took place at Sheraton in Lagos, Nigeria.
The founder, Love of Christ Generation Church, CNS, based in London, England, Reverend Mother Esther Abimbola Ajayi, is very passionate about growing the youth population of both the Cherubim and Seraphim Church and Celestial Church of Christ. In order to walk the talk, Reverend Mother Ajayi, who is also the founder of Esther Ajayi Foundation, hosted some of these youths from different parts of the world, including Nigeria, United Kingdom, and United States of America, to a press conference at the Sheraton Hotels and Suites, where the youth represented by Brother Kudus Patrick of the Cherubim and Seraphim Church and Sister Kehinde Akonde of the Celestial Church of Christ called on churches, both Pentecostal and Orthodox, to embrace unity and tolerance of one another in the quest to run the Christian race towards making heaven in the end.
Revelation 7 says, These are the ones who come out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in blood of lamb. Therefore they are before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple, and sit on the throne and dwell among them. As you can see, this is from the Bible, and this is why we wear white garment, and this is why we do the things we do. The purpose of today's conference.
John 15:18 says, If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. We understand there are negative connotations about us, and we want to break those boundaries. We are Bible-believing churches, and we stand solely on the Word of God. Everything we do, from our mode of worship, the manifestation of the Holy Spirit, prophecy, tongues, and its interpretations are in the Bible. It says in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 4 to 11. We stand proud as members of White Garment. It is not only a church we attend, but it's also our lifestyle. Our mission is to showcase transparency in what we believe in, and that is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Reverend Mother Ajayi harped on the unity of churches in Christendom and called on those who have negative thought about white garment churches to have a change of heart.
Together as one big family, and then it's not just white garment. You know, the good thing about this is that as we are going, it's expanding. Christians coming together. There are loads and loads of Christians that are still coming together, even with us, and younger youth from other churches still coming to us. The Luli Concert Brothers, they were with us. The Luli concert is September the 21st. They are still with us on this. Every one of us, or every one of them say they are with us in this day. And some of them, they have said, I think they should have sent their data page. They are still coming along. They are from Nigeria, and they are still with us on the mission. Thank you.
It's going to be an amazing day.
We're showcasing all our preachers. We're going to have Pastor Genesis coming all the way from Celestial. We're going to have Reverend Mother. She'll be preaching the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ on that day. It's going to be a lovely experience, preaching the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ from a different point of view.
Comforter 2018. I was involved in the Comforter 2017. I was a part of the choir. This year, I'm a part of the outreach. So we're going out, we're spreading the word, we're raising awareness of the white garment and the event celebrating the Comforter 2018.
They are the future of tomorrow. They are our future. When you start thinking, in another 50 years, in another 70 years, what will happen to the white garment? Informing the youth is like bettering our tomorrow. And they are the inheritance of the Lord, the book of Psalm 127.
Now, here is the burial of Chief Roland Folorunsho Adesina in Ogun State.
Former Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Akinwumi Adesina, who is currently the president of the African Development Bank, ADB, alongside family members of the Adesina family from Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State, recently hosted friends, associates, and well-wishers to the burial ceremonies of his father, Chief Roland Folorunsho Adesina, who passed on Saturday, May 28, 2018, at the age of 96. The two-day burial festivities for the late Chief Adesina, who lived an accomplished life, began at the Cathedral of St. James Ibadan with a commendation service.
Olúwa gbọ́ àdúrà
Betty Bethlehem.
After the commendation service, the train of celebration for the late patriarch of the Adesina family moved to the deceased birthplace, Ijebu-Igbo, for a Christian wake at the Cathedral Church of St. Matthew, Ojowo, Ogun State.
You are the immortal, the invisible, and the only wise God. You have no beginning and you have no end. Father, we want to thank you for this hour. This is the day you have made. You are giving all the grace to rejoice and celebrate the life and times of our Father, the late Chief Roland Folorunso Adesina, who lived and served you to the best of his ability.
To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to crop that which is planted. A time to feel and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, and a time to lose.
The next morning, the same cathedral church where the deceased was ordained as an elder hosted the funeral service where more guests turned up, and they were led by the Vice President, His Excellency, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, former President Olusegun Obasanjo and his wife, Bola Obasanjo, former President of Ghana, John Mahama, former Vice President, Architect Nnamdi Sambo retired General Yakubu Gowon, Governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, and his Ogun State counterpart, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, and wife, Yeye Olufunso Amosun. Others were Governor of Osun State Rauf Aregbesola, Aremo Segun Oshoba, Senator B. Durojaye, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Femi Otedola, Segun Awolowo, Chairman of Ovation Media Group Basharun Dele Momodu, Chief Mrs. Nike Akonde, and Donald Jew.
They were cut off so that evil might not take their understanding or guile deceive their souls.
Archie Roland Tradition was born April 5, 1922. His father, late John Akọ̀wé Adesina, hailed from Adora Shoni in vocational quarters of the Yebugo. His mother, late Dorcas Adebikale Adesina, originated from Okesusu, Ojowo quarters of the Yebugo.
The two-day event climaxed with a grand reception at the Transformation Hall in Ijebu-Igbo with Sugar Band on the bandstand, dishing out melodious tunes to the delight of guests and well-wishers.
Finally, here is the installation of Rotarian Ehi Braimo as the 58th President of the Rotary Club of Lagos.
Are you ready to celebrate you? Celebrate you.
Friends, family, and well-wishers of the new president of Rotary Club of Lagos, Ehi Braimo, as well as members of the club including Rotarians Mike Effiong and Azu Arinze, had already arrived at the Metropolitan Club, Victoria Island, Lagos, to support the 58th president, who is also a public relations practitioner. The event also witnessed the presentation of awards to some deserving Rotarians.
Hey beautiful people, Ovation on TV is here at the Metropolitan Club Lagos for the installation ceremony of Ehi Brahima as the 58th president of the Rotary Club of Lagos, and also for the induction of the 2018/2019 fundraising dinner. Now we'll go right in and we'll join in, we'll catch in on what's happening. We need to go in and find out what's going on, so come on, let's go.
I just they do my thing my way. I no see bad money. Mama they always pray for me. Life in Nigeria.
It is my honor and privilege to invite past President Rotarian Jibodi Ibru to give us the Rotary prayer.
Are you ready to celebrate you? Celebrate you.
Second, to focus and increase humanitarian service. And third, to enhance Rotary's public image and awareness. We have symbolically rather than substantively impacted upon all these strategic priorities.
Encourage high ethical standards in all divisions and advance goodwill and peace around the world. It is a non-political and non-sectarian organization open to all people, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, gender, or political preference. The Senate Bank will be celebrating and directing to the predicament and we find ourselves in a nation today.
Are you ready to celebrate you? Celebrate you.
Incoming President, Lieutenant Ehi Brahima, to be installed as the next president, the 58th president of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Ehi Brahima.
I just they thank God for my grace. I know envy, brother. I just they do my thing my way. I know see bad money. Mama they always pray for me. Life in Nigeria. Live your life and I live my life. I live it, Jaja. Ori mi gba mi o, eleda mi la mi o, ma je ko pa mi o, mo ni e ba mi sha mi o.
Let me start with a quote from Polaris 1914. You know, in a while, what Polaris is, for those of us who don't know, whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, it will be known by the result it achieves. For to serve our great club, the Rotary Club of Lagos. And the 58th president.
Are you ready to celebrate? Celebrate, see, I am ready to spend my money, spend my money, not to go,
He's a very hardworking man, he's so annoying. I'm honestly telling you, he's so annoying. He works so hard. But you know what? We get by, you know. We just juggle everything together. When he cannot function on the home front, I'm always there doubling up for him. So that's fine.
All right, so tell us, what kind of man is Daddy?
Well, my dad is a really fantastic person. He's really great. He's a loving dad, and I love him very much. I wish him all the best in his journey.
How do you feel today? That is, he's been made the president of a Rotary Club. How do you?
I feel very happy for him, you know, and I feel like this is another step in the journey of his life, and I hope that it will continue to develop him to become a better person in the future.
I've handed over to a new president of our club. We've been able to put in our best efforts and impact on key areas of needs in education, in health, economic empowerment, and enhancing the environment.
I never believed I would become a Rotarian, but the experience has been awesome. And because personally, the personal principle that I have is that we need to support people who are less privileged in our society. So those who have should transfer to those who don't have and bridge the inequality gap. So Rotary does that in over 35,000 clubs around the world, 220 countries plus, I still counting. And I think this is good because we have clusters of districts and clubs all over the world, and the intervention programs are good, especially in the area of polio. You know, so, and I think those who are not already in Rotary should begin to think about joining Rotary because there's so much fun, there's friendship, there is, we do a lot of things to get together and making life better for people.
With all of that said and done, it's been a truly fantastic day on Ovation on TV, and I trust that you enjoyed the show. About the show, if you would like to watch any episodes of Ovation on TV, which we have aired on TV, you can go to our YouTube page by typing in OVTV Online. If you'd like to continue the conversation on our social media, you can go to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and type in Ovation Media Group. My name is Dala Urwari. I am signing out now till I come your way same time, same place next week. I hope that you all take care of yourselves and each other. Goodbye.
And here we go then. Great atmosphere and the allure and glamour of this International Champions Cup. Rashford inside the area. Rashford scores! Well, it's been chucked home by Marquinhos. Chiellini has scored. Pastore in the box. And Mondi! Robe, yes, Arsenal level it. Shot from distance. Oh, what a goal! An absolute doozy.
It's new, it's here. It's premium entertainment for everyone from August 1st. Get popping every day with Ebony Life TV. Mondays are from Nollywood. Tuesdays are for novellas. The Next Generation have a blast on Wednesdays. Thursdays are for drama. Fridays are there to excite you and binge every weekend.
Owerri Zukala is a town in Orumba South local government area of Anambra State. The town is one of the most populous communities in the local government area. It is a boundary town bordered in the north by Olo town in Enugu State. In the southeast, Owerri Zukala is bordered by Umuaku Isochi in Abia State and by Eziama town in Imo State. Down this valley of dense forest is a cave and waterfall reputed to be the biggest in the West African sub-region. Owere Zukala Waterfalls is a magnificent sight. The great waterfalls cascade from a height of about 60 meters all year round, with its heaviest flow during the rainy season and enough to generate electricity. The cave's waterfalls have their sources from a confluence of Edegere and Ozuku streams, just as it splashes down naturally. The waterfall forms a pool at the base, which is a tourist attraction. The water moves further to join a nearby supernatural lake, Obori, from which its final destination could be traced to Omambala River. This is Owere Zukala Cave. The Owere Zukala Cave belongs to the limestone caverns family, formed by solution process, beautiful limestone of great sizes and shapes, among other solid minerals that is found within the cave environment. This cave measures not less than 10 kilometers in length, extending to Ishiama, Nkuli, and Olo axis of Enugu State and Amuda Isuochi area of Abia State.
The road leads to Enugu State. Yes. From this place. Yeah. Can we see the road? Yeah, you can see the road. The road is well made.
The Owere Zukala Cave and Waterfalls is one of Anambra's unsung wonders of nature.
See you, if we not talk, nothing will change.
Sit down look government, inna the rain again. Start or join group to solve problems for your community.
Dub, dub, da, dub, da, dub, da, dub, dub. Yes.
My name is Jane, and I am 18, and this is where I hang out with my friends. We are deeply concerned about the problems facing Nigeria, but when it comes to doing something about it, we would rather sit on the fence.
Hold up. Dub, 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 da, dub, dub, da, dub, dub. Dub, dub, da, dub, da, dub, da, dub, dub. Yes. Dub, 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 da, dub, dub, da, dub, dub. Dub, dub, da, dub, da, dub, da, dub, dub. Yes.
Welcome to PTV Week in Review, where we bring you a compilation of our major top stories of the week here on PTV. I am Lilian Ogazi. Now, starting off with our major stories of the day, President Muhammadu Buhari has sympathized with the people of Kebbi on the flood disaster that destroyed their farmlands, crops, and homes. The president made this known in a statement signed by his spokesperson, Garba Shehu. Buhari said he was highly touched by the sheer scale of the losses suffered by our hard-working farmers in Kebbi State. According to him, the flood disaster represents a setback for the efforts to boost local rice production in the country, for which Kebbi is playing a leading role. He commended the state government for the swift measures put into action to alleviate the hardship of the victims and equally directed federal emergency aid agencies to support the victims. And away from that, now the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has warned National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Adams Oshiomhole, to stop behaving like an attack dog. This was released in a statement by party spokesman Kola Ologbodiyan. He said since assuming office a couple of weeks ago, Oshiomhole has abandoned the path of wisdom, even as it accused him being nosy, loquacious, rapacious, and completely immodest in all his actions and utterances. The PDP cautions those who brought Oshiomhole into office through a charade called a National Convention to immediately direct him to regulate the lethargic words spewing out of his double-speaking mouth before he enrails our democracy. Some civil rights activists have called on Nigerians to discountenance the ongoing cross-carpeting by politicians and focus on good governance, social justice, and accountability. The group made the call in a chat with PTV's correspondent on Friday. According to the group, the defection shows that the desperate politicians are committed to their pockets and political survival before anything else. Emmanuel Bagudu tells us more.
A good number of Nigerians were thrilled when these politicians were announcing their defection news on Tuesday. But for this group of young politicians, the massive gale of defection is not based on the interests of Nigerians.
Now, my views on this issue of cross-carpeting, defections, moving from one party to the other is very clear. Is very, very clear. And we need to be, as Nigerians, we also need to be clear about it. The first thing that this tells us is that it tells us that we are dealing with people without principles. That you are dealing with politicians, you are dealing with the ruling class that lacks principles, basic principles. Because you cannot be a member of one party for 3 years. On the eve of an election, you are joining another party. Simply to secure your seat, to secure the fact that you can run as a candidate and be re-elected. I mean, it tells you that there is no principle involved, there is no program involved, and certainly our interest as Nigerians is not at stake. What is at stake is their pockets, is access to those seats where they want to retain. That is what is at stake for them.
The general consensus here is that these defection antics are familiar gimmicks played by politicians when election draws near, and Nigerians must ignore it and look out for good leaders.
My take is these are just some kind of dramatic moves to distract the Nigerian voters. They do not bring us any other option, they bring us the same thing. I'm not particularly moved at the defection from A to B or B to A. I'm not going to mention parties, but is there anything new coming out of that system? It is no. So I just see it as a means to deceive or distract the Nigerian voters, the Nigerian public, not to focus on what the issues are. The issues at the moment are that people are losing their lives. The economy situation in the country is very bad. People find it difficult to survive. Young Nigerians that should be in school cannot be in school. Nigerians that have gone through school and need jobs do not get jobs. We are not well represented. We are not occupying our rightful place in the globe. This is what is really important. This is what we should be focusing on. This movement and the camping from here to there or forming coalitions are just tactics that these same people use to deceive us so that we forget what the focus should be. It's just a drama.
It's an individual factor. Perhaps if you look at the way it works, we talk about party ideology. In an established sector, such as a political party, you're supposed to have reasons why you join the party. And when there is a case, because there is a reason for them to do that, you need to harmonize yourself amicably in order not to wash your dirtiness in public. But since they have chosen to go the other way, in line with the trend of Nigerian politics.
At the end, Nigerians are called to be calm, calculated, and be ready at all times to ensure that democracy is not truncated. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
13 out of 23 local government chairmen in Benue State have dumped the APC for the PDP. The party chairman defected on Friday following Governor Samuel Otom, who recently left the ruling party. The chairmen include Anthony Shawon of Guma local government, Justina Soka of Buruku local government, Muesu Ubebe of Konshisha local government, Blessing Unogu of Ado local government, Virginia Bindi of Katsinala local government, and George Ali of Otupo local government. Since the defection of Otom, the State House of Assembly has been thrown into confusion, leading to the impeachment of the State House of Assembly Speaker, Tekimbi Iyange. Meanwhile, the no automatic ticket principles of the new APC national chairman is attracting reactions. In spite of the mass defection that hit the party in the last few days, Adams Oshomole has ruled out automatic return tickets to APC members in the National Assembly. PTV's correspondent Daniel Azuama reports that Nigerians remain divided on the matter. The report is presented from our studios.
These are members of the APC House of Reps caucus in a solidarity visit to the National Working Committee of the party. The visit is coming at the wake of the defection of 37 APC House of Reps members to the opposition PDP. But in spite of this, the party maintains that aspirants must earn their tickets. Reacting to the development, Nigerians believe Oshomole is acting as a Democrat.
I dove my heart for Oshomole. If anything has happened to APC in recent time, it is the coming of Oshomole as the national chairman of APC. Why should there be automatic ticket for any individual? In the past 2-3 years, what has the lawmakers done that make them deserve automatic ticket? These are people that day, night, afternoon, they think about what gets to their pocket. They have looked at Nigeria as a country where they represent themselves, they are not representing we who has taken them there. We saw them as better eyes, to go and represent us. But they get there. What have they done for us? I respect Oshomole every day for that singular act he has taken.
It's a normal thing to go with the process of having primary election first before anything. It's not normal to give them that direct automatic ticket so that there will be a very concrete and selective election. You understand? Because from the point of view, it's not normal. So many people in the party will feel bad for you to come and give some certain set of people automatic tickets without having a primary election in the house.
But these Abuja residents say the idea is coming at the wrong time.
Some days ago, we saw the mass defections of the lawmakers from the ruling party to the opposition parties. And I think what Oshomole should be talking about now is, talking to make those who are still have confidence in the ruling party to have confidence in the party than the way he's talking about. For instance, the number of people that defected to that party are people of strong political values. Even though in his last statement some time ago he said they are big masquerade with no political values, but it's not to be talking like that, because in such way that he's talking is still affecting the other ones who are still behind. So I frankly look at the statement of Oshomole at this particular period that it is null and void, and it's not expected of a chairman who is just not up to 2 weeks on the seat.
I believe so much that Oshomole is just playing what I name selfish interests. Maybe he's trying to fight for the advantage of the party, in the sense that is what he said concerning there is no automatic ticket to anybody that's coming for a National Assembly or the House of Rep. It simply means that Oshomole is not there he doesn't have the interests of Nigerians at heart, because I want to emphasize basically on Nigerians, not on the party. You know, while if I should make any statement based on Nigerians, then what I will reflect his saying or whatever he said to Nigeria, or what is happening in this country at this time. Oshomole is working for the party. It's working for the interests of the party. It's working for the interests of the ruling party, which is the APC, and as well as the interests of Mr. President.
Ahead of the 2019 general elections, the APC say it remains a party to beat, having 25 governors and still holding majority in the National Assembly. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
The family of the detained former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki has formally dragged the Attorney General of the Federation and Justice Association and the Nigerian Bar Association before the Nigerian Bar Association, praying for an investigation and sanction of the minister over his alleged unprofessional conduct and utter disregard to the rule of law. The family in the petition accused Malami of exhibiting unprofessional conduct likely to cause anarchy in the country through his promotion of disobedience to the lawful order of court by the federal government. In the petition dated July 23, 2008, and received by the NBA the same day, Malami was alleged to have made unsalutary and unprofessional statements to denigrate the court, violate the constitution, and encourage the continued breach of the fundamental human rights of Dasuki, who has been clamped into detention since 2015. The family also wants Malami to be investigated in the resolve of the federal government not to comply with any order of court admitting the former NSA to bail. The Nigerian Army has killed 16 Boko Haram and recovered a weapon catch during its clearance operation in Mairari village in Mongo, local government area of Borno State. Oyema Wachuku, Deputy Director, Public Relations, Theatre Command Operation Lafia Dole, disclosed this in a statement released in Maiduguri. The insurgents, Wachuku said that the troops also recovered 2 gun trucks abandoned by the insurgents during the encounter. The insurgents in 3 vehicles, including gun trucks, had infiltrated and attacked the community when troops at the formation were alerted by locals. The troops, supported by the air task force, swiftly responded to the attack, killing 16 insurgents and capturing 2 truck loaders with guns abandoned by the insurgents as they tried escaping, having been overwhelmed by the superior firepower from the troops. And now to Nigerian transportation. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, says that Itakpe-Ajokuta Warri Railway project is about 80% completed and will be ready soon. Amechi disclosed this during the inspection tour of Itakpe-Ajokuta Warri rail line in Agbo. He also stated that the rail line would be completed before the scheduled date, adding that the tracks were ready, only the stations were left to be completed. Amechi stated that the government had no apology when it comes to borrowing to fund infrastructure in Nigeria. The Managing Director, Nigerian Railway Corporation, Fidet Okira, said that by September, the train operation would commence to maintain the tracks. According to him, if the government waits till all the 12 train stations be completed, the tracks will go bad. The World Health Organization says millions of people who have viral hepatitis are unaware and unable to receive treatment. The Global Health Agency raised the alarm in a statement by WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus on Saturday as part of activities marking the World Hepatitis Day. According to WHO, viral hepatitis B and C are major health challenges affecting 325 million people globally, and they are the root causes of liver cancer, leading to 1.34 million deaths every year. The World Hepatitis Day focuses on raising awareness of the global burden of viral hepatitis as a major health problem in need of an urgent international response. Still on health, the Federal Ministry of Health has recalled 2.4 million bottles of cough syrup containing codeine after a recent audit of the substance carried out by National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. According to a statement by Boade Akinola, Director Media and Public Relations of the Ministry on Sunday in Abuja, the recall demonstrated the federal government's resolve to stem the abuse of codeine and other substances in Nigeria. Akinola said the ministry had recently received the final report of the 22-man stakeholders committee set up by the ministry to address the worrisome menace of codeine abuse in Nigeria. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, recorded 7 flights involving 3,210 Nigerian pilgrims to Saudi Arabia as at Friday for this year's Hajj. According to flights records made available to newsmen on Saturday in Medina, NACON said the latest flight transported the second batch of 503 pilgrims from Kano and 227 FCT pilgrims to Medina. Unlike previously flights by Max Air Limited, the FCT pilgrims were flown into the Holy Land by Fly Nas Airline. Pilgrims from Kogi, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Kwara, who were already on the ground in Medina before the latest arrivals, have been moved to Mecca. They had spent 8 days in Medina before moving to Mecca for the Hajj rites. And now to some foreign and sport news. Starting off with foreign, Zimbabwe's ex-president Robert Mugabe has given a surprise press conference on the eve of the nation's election. Mugabe said he would not support his successor in the ZANU-PF party, Emmerson Mnangagwa, after being forced from office by the party he founded. Zimbabweans go to polls on Monday in the first vote since Mugabe was ousted in November. Still on the foreign scene, a powerful earthquake has struck a popular tourist destination in Indonesia, killing at least 14 people. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit the central island of Lombok just before 7 a.m. local time today. The island attracts tourists from around the world due to its beaches and hiking trails and is located about 40 kilometers east of Bali. More than 160 people are injured and thousands of homes are damaged, officials say. A Malaysian tourist who was on a hiking trip to Mount Rajini is also among those killed. And in the world of sport, a property estimated not less than 50 million naira have been destroyed at Rojeni Sports Complex in Games Village, Oba Idemili South Council area, Anambra, by flooding following days of torrential rainfall in the state. Rajani is an all-in-one sports complex and tourist center built by a private individual in 1987 for the development of youth through sports and upliftment of the tourism sector. The proprietor of the complex, Romy Ezeonwuka, described the development as a disaster of immense proportion. Romy told newsmen that it was a heart-wrenching experience and that investment of such magnitude was being eroded. He appealed to the Nigerian public to urgently intervene and salvage the sports complex, which is estimated at about 25 billion naira. Still in sports now on swimming, Kathleen Baker celebrates with Elsie Hanna her victory and world record of 58 seconds in the final of the women's 100 LC meter backstroke during the 2018 USA Swimming Phillips 66 National Championships mandatory credit. Gary A. Vasek, USA Today Sports record. California, July 29, 2018, Rio Olympic silver medalist Kathleen Baker set a world record in the women's 100 meters backstroke at the U.S. Championships on Saturday, clocking a time of 58 seconds in Irvine, California. The 21-year-old had a sizzling first 50 meters and turned in 27.90 seconds before going on to beat the previous mark of 58.10 set by Canadian Kylie Mass. You're on to PTV Weekend Review. We shall be going on a quick break. And when we return, the Weekend Review continues. Still stay. Yo, welcome back. Now, it's still PTV Week in Review. Now, starting off earlier in the week, we told you that the Ekiti State Governor-elect Kayode Fayemi says he is more interested in meeting the immediate needs of Ekiti people than probing his predecessor, Ayo Fayose. Fayemi gave this assurance in a chat with journalists in Abuja. He spoke shortly after a closed-door meeting with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. Emmanuel Bagudu has the details.
It's just over 1 week after the Ekiti election, and the governor-elect is still basking in the euphoria of victory. But Kayode Fayemi feels he still has some unfinished business in Abuja before relocating to Ado-Ekiti in about 3 months' time, which is why he's meeting with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa.
The purpose of my visit to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is just a courtesy call. I am in Abuja for a variety of reasons. I'm still disengaging. I need my pension papers from him and also my disengagement letter and all the details associated with that. So it's a courtesy call on the SGF.
The governor-elect did not hesitate to comment on his victory at the polls and his plans for Ekiti State. He, however, insists that probing his predecessor, Ayo Fayose, is not much of a priority.
I just want to get on with my work. Don't forget, I was governor there before. And what our people really need now is immediate succor. If you have not earned salaries for 6 to 10 months, you just want somebody to provide an immediate reprieve. Whether we look into the books of the outgoing administration or not is a routine administrative matter. Every government would embark on routine administrative activities. The question is, does that constitute a probe in a punitive sense of the word? No, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in knowing what had transpired in the last 3.5 to 4 years in Ekiti State. I'm interested in knowing why we haven't been able to pay salaries in a state that used to pay salaries regularly. And I'm interested in ensuring that good governance, transparency, and accountability become the watchword of government. So for me, it's a nomenclature issue: probe, review, examine. I'm not a professor of English.
Fayemi is expected to assume office in October this year. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
Now, still in the course of the week, the Senate on Tuesday announced the defection of 15 senators elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress to the People's Democratic Party. But soon after, 2 senators on the list maintained that they remain members of the ruling party. And while political observers say the defection have tilted the majority to PDP, there are suggestions that APC remains the majority party in the upper chamber. The report.
This is great.
33 APC members have formally left for other political parties. What this means is that the numerical strength of the ruling party has been whittled down. Razak Atuwa is one of the defecting lawmakers. Known to have close links to Senate President Bukola Saraki, he insists that more federal lawmakers would dump the APC.
We came together because we believed in what was being proposed to the people of Nigeria. We believed in change. We believed that this country needs to be better ruled. We believed that the youth of this country deserve better. We believe that the men and women of this country deserve better. We believe that there ought to be a better method of social integration and social welfare. We believe that job opportunities must increase. We believe that there must be respect for the rule of law. We believe that there must be a better way for improving our education. We believed in all these ideals, and so therefore we clubbed together and formed the APC. But sadly, no sooner had we formed government in May 2015 that the party set itself on a course to derail itself. And that derailment continued up until today.
His own excuse is that the ruling party has not fulfilled expectations of members who worked for its victory in 2015. Other DCMPs have similar reasons for their action.
Imagine the reason why we are all saying that we are leaving APC today. From the World Congress up to the National Convention, there have been all manner of problems. We are talking about almost 24 or 25 states that have issues with their World Congresses. So on what basis, how did you arrive at a national convention where you have parallel congresses at the world level? In the case of Benue, there were no congresses. They just wrote names and sent to the national secretariat. So that is where the problem is.
Happening today. When Jonathan was in power 4 years back, I can drive from here. I always like citing example to my state. I can drive from here to Kano with my eyes closed. But today, if you are going to Kano or Kaduna, that night you don't sleep. You carry your tasbihah and stand on your mark to be praying to God that you arrive Kaduna safely. When you reach Kaduna, you start another prayer that you arrive Kano safely. What have we found ourselves? I believe, for me as a person, that alone is enough for me to say this place I am is a wrong place.
And knowing that PDP is still in the minority in the House, these lawmakers want Nigerians to focus more on electoral value of the defectors and not the number. Emmanuel Ehijine, PTV News, Abuja.
Still in the course of the week, House of Representative members who have defected from the APC are insisting that more of their colleagues will soon leave the ruling party. They said this at a press briefing in Abuja where they provided reasons for their defection. Emmanuel Ehijine was there and brought in the reports. Now, moving on, the United Progressive Party has formally welcomed the sponsor of the Not Too Young to Run Act, Tony Wulu, to the party. The federal lawmaker representing Oshodi Isolo Federal Constituency on Tuesday left the People's Democratic Party for the lesser-known party. But UPP National Chairman Chekwa Sokore said on a PTV interview program that Wulu represents everything the party stands for. He described UPP as a youth-friendly party.
When we gained Honorable Tony Nwolo into the UPP, everybody was excited home and abroad, because this is a political platform that has always given opportunity to young people. And his accomplishment in initiating and sponsoring that bill successfully, that has now become an act of the National Assembly, following the president's assent to it, has made him more like a beautiful bride and a role model to the youths. He has taken a bold step. He had identified a political party that is in tandem with his own worldview. And as I said earlier, he is in a natural habitat to function. As a young man, as a promoter and the arrowhead of the not too young to run. More people, there are many young people who have started reaching out to us, very resourceful persons too, but you don't drop names here and there until make the bold step Honorable Nwolo has made, then the public will see it. But for 2019, I can assure you that UPP is poised to ignite a youth movement that might take power at the critical levels, which is state government, state assembly, national assembly, and all that.
The House of Representatives has resolved to probe Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA of allegations of fictitious contract awards and mismanagement. Speaker Yakubu Dogara stated this at the public investigative hearing on the alleged contract scam at NIMASA. According to the Speaker, it is imperative to dig out the truth of the alleged corrupt practice in NIMASA so that an end can be put to the economic crimes in the country. The Speaker was represented by the House Chief Whip, Al-Hassan Doguwa.
The House of Representatives has always taken the issue of diligent investigation of alleged economic crimes with all seriousness. This is in pursuance of the thematic issues in our legislative agenda to effect public demand for transparency and accountability by all arms and agencies of government. I am happy to note that some of these investigations produced revelations of corrupt practices and have helped to prevent wastages of public resources within our legislative purview, as well as funds appropriated by the National Assembly. The committee held a public hearing on a bill for an act to establish the Maritime Security Agency to promote maritime security, among other things. This shows the premium attention given to the sector by the House of Representatives due to its contributions to the development of the country and its potentials to contribute much of the needed revenue for the stabilization of our ailing economy. It is imperative to dig out the truth of these alleged corrupt practices in NIMASA so that an end can be put to such economic crimes. If they are proven to be true, to enable the masses enjoy the legitimate benefits of our common dividends of democracy.
House Committee on Maritime Safety and Education for this investigative hearing. There have been so many petitions on this project. We also received the same petition, but when I got information that the House Committee has started this investigation, I said, okay, we await the outcome of the investigation and see whether to adopt it or conduct our own. But so far, the procedure and processes employed, I wish to say that we are very happy with the investigative activities, and we are going to endorse whatever is the outcome of this investigation.
The police have sealed off the Benue State House of Assembly complex. These developments has forced members to scale the fence into the premises. Raphael Akume has more in this report presented from our studio.
These federal lawmakers are members of the House of Representative Caucus under the aegis of the Parliamentary Support Group, who just concluded a solidarity meeting with the national chairman of their party, the APC, where they went to pledge their support to the leadership of the party. It was the aftermath of the defection of many of their colleagues from the party.
Across all parties, we've opened our doors, even members who are from other parties that are in support of President Muhammadu Buhari are part of this group. We want to against the background of what has happened in the last few days, we want to state very clearly that we will continue to stand with the president. We will continue to support him. We will continue to support his policies in the House of Representatives. And as I have continued to say repeatedly, we are working with the blessing of the leadership of the House of Representatives. We have the support of the Speaker and other members of the body of principal officers.
His colleagues say despite the defections, they are in support of President Buhari's 2019 ambition. They said some of their colleagues, most of whom decamped, are also in support of the decision of the group.
Leadership of the House of Representatives under Yakubu Dogara and all other leaders that are of APC are together with us. They cannot be here because this is voluntary formation of us committed. But they give us their support, and everything we do is together with them. None of them is left behind. Everyone is carried along.
The common ideology is to enhance the legislative-executive relationship, to have a forum where we can now engage more the executive on issues that borders on the nation in general and from the constituencies we have. These have been lacking in the past, and this is a group of people who have volunteered to come together to see the need to get governance down to the people. And that is strengthened by our resolve to support Mr. President and also create a platform where we can engage him to give him the true picture of realities on ground, so we can help the government to correct the wrongs and improve on its performance and delivery to the people.
Membership of the group, according to this group, includes other lawmakers from other political parties who share the ideals of the president. Emmanuel Ehijine, PTV News, Abuja.
That was a report by Hijene, where the House of Representatives caucus under the aegis of the Parliamentary Support Group pledged its support to the leadership of the President Muhammadu Buhari. This followed the torrent of defection that rocked both chambers of the National Assembly, and these federal lawmakers insisted that they believe and stand by the policies of the president. Now moving away to Benue State, still in the course of the week, we told you that the police sealed off the Benue State House of Assembly complex. Now the development forced members to scale the fence into the premises. Now Raphael Akume presented the report from our studio.
This is the situation at the Benue State Assembly on Friday. The place is crawling with police operatives who are denying entry to everyone. Not even state legislators were spared. For them, this is the height of impunity.
We sought to know. There was no cogent explanation from the most senior police officer that attended to us, except that he has superior orders from above to take charge of the assembly. After a series of pleadings, we could not be allowed entrance. But let me state that we are law-abiding people. We will never resort to getting in a skiff cuff with the police. We have therefore decided to withdraw that peaceful rest, since we have a duty covered by the Constitution that allows us that we have the powers to sit anywhere within the landmass of Benue State. We shall therefore leave them in the premise and precincts of the assembly and continue to do our legitimate duties somewhere else, since they have found the assembly so comfortable.
Also at the complex is the former speaker who was impeached a few days ago.
The House was adjourned from 10th of July to the 15th of August. And until 15th, the House cannot reconvene because I am only the person that has saddled the responsibility of reconvening the House. The majority leader has not brought it to my attention that there's a need to sit. Members have not gotten to me. If they have any issue, they will let me know, and it must be of public interest. So I am saying that as far as I'm concerned, there has been no sitting, and I'm waiting until the 15th when I will reconvene the House, and then the business of the House will continue. So I am the Speaker, and I will continue to be the Speaker until that is done.
The police siege forced the Benue State House of Assembly to move legislative session to the old banquet hall of the government house.
The Benue State House of Assembly suspended its former speaker, Tekimbe Kiyange, for 6 months. Now, the suspension came on the day the police prevented the lawmakers from sitting. The lawmakers' decision was taken at the old banquet hall of the government house in Makurdi.
Only a few days ago, members of the Benue Assembly impeached former Speaker Tekimbe Kiyange. Now the state legislators have slammed a 6-month suspension on him. This, they say, is because of the role he played in the invasion of the assembly complex by the police. The motion for the former speaker's suspension was moved by Majority Leader Ivan Boom and seconded by the Deputy Speaker Johnson Ahubi.
As brought this report, the Minister House of Assembly, through his utterances of public media, this is most unacceptable, unparliamentary of his statute. He has resisted all questions, hereby no alternative than move a motion for his suspension of that will take for 6 months and so on.
As far as leadership is concerned, today, Mr. Speaker, you are sitting on that chair as a speaker. Yesterday, you are sitting on this side as the majority whip of this House chamber. It is God. Everything in life is destined by God. And so no man can take anybody's destiny. And so for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I am of the opinion that seconding the motion moving by the majority that take a Ikangi, and if others do same the way Ikangi has also done, will also follow the same suit.
The lawmakers accused the former speaker of parading himself as the head of the legislature.
It is the decision of the House that the former Speaker, Representative Ikangi, be suspended. Be suspended for the next 6 months until all these issues are sorted out. He himself has sorted out this issue, and the House is satisfactory in June with that before he will be admitted back into this House. Is that the consensus of this House? Yes.
This was the main decision taken by the lawmakers after they relocated the old banquet hall in the aftermath of the police action at the Assembly complex.
Well, still in the course of the weekend, finally on our weekend review, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said plans are underway for the decentralization of the country's seaport. Osinbajo stated this in Lagos during a stakeholders meeting to discuss the traffic congestion in Apapa and its consequences on Lagosians and the country. Emmanuel Bagudu has the details.
The trouble with congestion in the Apapa seaport has left many Lagos residents in a pitiable state.
How come these entities are not entering into the port? The structure of the port, as it is now, can no longer accommodate the volume of the activities that we are giving.
But this stakeholders meeting is aimed at finding a lasting solution to the challenge. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo reiterated the commitment of the government to reducing the pressure on the Apapa seaport for easy business activities.
Ports were not in frequent use because of the security situation around those ports, Warri, Port Harcourt, on Calabar, and all of that. It will be good to use those ports more frequently, and that will, of course, decongest the Apapa Tinkan ports.
For his part, the Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode described the situation as a national emergency, declaring the presence of 86 tank farms within Apapa.
Beyond border towns, we will now ensure that our pipelines are working.
Minister of Transport and Director General of the Nigerian Port Authority stressed the need for the assessment of the terms of the concessioning of the port.
For the report, as approved by Cabinet, I'll go back to Cabinet to see whether we need to review the issue of the concession.
As a government, we need to define and understand the policy of intermodal transportation system across the board for all port locations.
With these deliberations, Nigerians and indeed importers will be looking forward to seeing a more friendly business environment in the Apapa seaport. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Lagos.
And that's all on the Weekend Review. On behalf of PTV News production crew, many thanks for watching. My name is Lilian Ogazi. Do stay on PTV.
And here we go then. Great atmosphere and the
It's new. It's here. It's premium entertainment for everyone. From August 1st, get popping every day with Ebony Life TV. Mondays are for Nollywood. Tuesdays are for novellas. The Next Generation have a blast on Wednesdays. Thursdays are for drama. Fridays are there to excite you and binge every weekend.
Oh my God. Oh, oh, oh.
Election is when we elect our leaders who represent us. And election is my right as a citizen of this country.
Election is a voting process. Election is a voting process, like vote a candidate for a leadership.
It's more like my right to choose the country's leader. My own part to play about it.
Say from layman point of view, is any activity that is aimed at putting people in a position of authority.
It's a platform, an avenue for people to elect those or get into offices, those that they want to represent them.
An election is simple now. It's just people choosing one or two people. The society choosing a number of people to represent, to lead, to coordinate, to do administration. All right.
And now you want my trust once more.
Before you can say, what an election is, there has to be an electorate. Somebody has to, vote, you understand, in an election for people of authority to get into power.
The vote is the power of the electorate. All right, so the people brings their power to the table during an election. That's what it is.
I think it's more like us having a say of who goes there to represent us, of who we talk to, that will guide us aright, and give us the benefit of that. Oh, let me not use the word a past one. Or give us the benefit that what we need is what we're going to get.
Between the electorate and the election itself, the electorate are supposed to willingly vote according to their conscience, according to what they feel that the capabilities of whoever they want to elect into offices can do.
The electorate, they have the power to elect their leaders because this is a democratic setting. And you know what the meaning of democracy is? Democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So it is our right as the electorate to elect our leaders.
Only God can judge you now. Only God can judge you now.
Come on, you can't buy my right. It is my right as a citizen, and you can't buy it with money. No amount of money can buy it. So because by the time you sell your right to vote, you're selling your birthright. That's the way I see it.
I think that is laughable. I don't think you need to pay to get my vote, but rather you need to earn my vote. My vote is free. I mean, I don't have to collect anything from you to vote for you. If you tell me what you are going to do, and I am okay, and I believe that voting you, will mean realizing such aims and objectives, then I will cast my vote for you. I don't need to take money to vote for you.
That's a lot of money. My power is all I have got. All right. So if it's like I'm selling myself to you. If you pay me and I give you my power, my vote is my power. So it means you are ready to pay a whole lot of money. It's like I'm selling myself to you as a slave. You have total control over me. So that would be difficult to sell, actually. That will be very, very. In fact, it's difficult to explain. Well, but it's also simple to explain. If I give you my power, I have sold myself to you. So why should I do that? It's my vote during an election is my power, is everything I am.
It's not a matter of money, because it's about my generation now. You know, trying to cause a change. There is no money whatsoever that, you know, one has to pay to get the right leader. The money can finish, but when the money finishes, what happens? What's next? You know, that's what we're looking at.
You can only offer me your conscience and nothing else. The conscience that I have to believe that when you get in there, you represent me.